thinking about the draft in 2021 and the role that they played in getting it here to Cleveland, I think is really special. So I'm excited to be a part of it, and I will take any of your questions.
Have you convinced George Payton to come to Cleveland?
You know, we're working through that process, and we're going to make sure we take our time and are methodical about it.
Can you talk about your relationship with him from your days with the Vikings?
I would say my relationship with him is very similar to my relationship with all of the people in that building. It's a great place, one that I'm going to miss a lot of those people, and I've reached out to them and told them that, but definitely a bunch of special people in that building.
How much of the process is left from the GM selection?
Good question. I don't think we have a timeline, but I think we're huddling up and having a lot of good discussions and see where it goes.
How have the interviews gone with George in the second one today?
Good. I think we've had some really qualified candidates in there. It's always fun to talk football with all of them, so I think we're gathering information as we go.
Are there more candidates?
I think that remains to be seen.
Is this something
Really not my call. So I'm just a part of this thing and providing as much as I can to it.
It seems like looking at George's resume, he's been there like you were. He's been there for a long time. He's turned down so many opportunities for other GM jobs over the years. It seems like he's really been groomed for a while, under Rick for this. Do you see that in him? If he were to be the successful candidate, do you see that this is something that he's been well prepared for?
I think we've brought in some really good candidates. I don't want to single anybody out. I just know that Dee and Jimmy have done their due diligence to make sure that we bring in some really qualified people, and again, get them in our building and talk to them and understand that shared vision that we all have has been. I think it's been a good process.
How about Bill Callahan? Can you tell us a little bit about Bill Callahan and Chad O'Shea?
Yeah, I think Coach Callahan. I'm excited to add him to the mix. He's a great teacher, first and foremost, which is so important. He and I have a lot of mutual friends, so I understand the man, he understands me, and what we're looking to do. So I think ultimately just having someone of his stature, a former head coach, was very important to me as we put our staff together. As it relates to everybody else, I think we'll put out a release once we have everybody. I think it's only fair to wait till we do that. But I can mention that Mike Prefer's staying, Doug Coleman is staying, Stump Mitchell is staying. So some really good coaches that I think are going to be important to our success moving forward.
Kevin, who's running all the draft stuff and all the gathering that stuff when you don't have a GM in place?
I think we have a lot of qualified individuals right now. I know we have a bunch of people down there at the Senior Bowl that are working hard. So it's just, many hands make light work, and the guys are working right now.
And who are you reporting to?
Not to me.
Kevin, are you interviewing offensive coordinator and quarterback coach candidates?
We are definitely working through all that. There's a ton of good candidates, and we're going to make sure we take our time. I know there's a rush to it, but we have to get somebody before September. But we got to make sure that we get the right people, so we're definitely going to take our time.
Are you committed to hiring an offensive coordinator, or is that to be determined?
I'm committed to adding the right people to our building, and that remains to be seen, but we're definitely looking at all avenues as we try to put a really good staff together.
What is it about Stump Mitchell that made you want to retain him?
In this business, you get to know so many different coaches, and you get to know people that have worked with Stump, or maybe he knows people that I've worked with, so we have mutual colleagues, let's put it that way. So I kind of know what he's all about. I think I really like the way he teaches. I love the toughness that he brings to our staff room, to our field, and I think the proof is in the pudding. He had two really good players playing this year, so I think he's an excellent coach, and excited that he's going to be part of our future.
When you talk about taking your time, you have no problem waiting for a guy like Joe Woods to finish up the Super Bowl?
I have no time waiting. I have no problem waiting, yes.
And his name's been out there. What do you like about him as a guy?
I saw his name out there. Listen, another one of those great coaches I've been around among many guys, but he's in the Super Bowl, which is the ultimate that we're all trying to get to, so I'll wait to talk about any of those scenarios until after that Super Bowl.
Have you had any secondary conversations with Baker, and is there any plans to maybe get together with him in the offseason or coming up?
Definitely, and we're working through that.
What about the work of staff if you did not have an offensive coordinator?
I don't know, but we're trying to put together the best group we can. So it's not like we've said we're not hiring an offensive coordinator. We're just trying to work through it and make sure we add the right people.
What's this week been like?
What day is it?
Yeah, right.
Listen, this is the gig, and that's what I like about it. We're making a lot of decisions, but the most important decision, as I sit here or stand here, and as we work in our building, the most important thing is bringing the right people in. So part of hiring a coaching staff is making sure that we identify who those people are and make sure that that's who we want to add to our staff.
Kevin, you had a little bit of controversy right off the bat with Odell Beckham, having some post-game issues after the LSU game. So there was that, and then he moves into having a surgery. So can you kind of comment a little bit on Odell?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to sitting down with Odell face to face. I haven't had a chance to do that yet. I'll get a chance to do that tomorrow. And at that point, that's when I can start laying out my expectations for Odell and for all of our players.
What were your thoughts on him giving money to players after the game?
Yeah, again, we'll talk about that and lay out the expectations for our guys and the conduct and how we want them to conduct themselves.
So you'll be here already tomorrow after having the surgery?
Yes.
Do you have any idea what the surgery entailed and how long it's going to take?
I do not have a medical degree, so I'm not going to talk about injuries. I'll let the experts do that, but he's certainly going to get to work with our trainers, and I'm confident that they'll put in the work and put in the rehab necessary to get him back full speed.
During this interview process, with all that's going on, are you able to evaluate what you're inheriting on film?
Oh yeah, yes,
Have you been
yes.
doing that?
Early mornings, I can watch a lot of tape.
How many hours a day do you spend doing that? Would you say?
I'm not counting. I don't know, but I do know this. There's a certain amount of work that has to go into it. There's no way to just download the season's worth of film into my brain. So I've been spending a lot of time with it, and I think that's as we add coaches to the staff, then they can sit down and watch the tape, and we can start to identify the things that we may need moving forward.
Yeah, and the other thing is that the business of the season is starting really with clauses and contracts and decisions to make. Are those decisions being discussed, or do you wait for a full staff to do it?
I think we're operating day to day like you would and making decisions, but certainly until we're full speed ahead with all those key positions, we're going to make sure we get together and make prudent decisions in that regard.
Were you relieved that Jarvis Landry doesn't have to have the hip surgery that would have kept him out like 6 to 8 months?
Sure, anytime you can be conservative with an injury and get him back without going under the knife is always good, because there's no surgery that's not invasive. So excited for him. I know he's going to play in the Pro Bowl, which is a great honor for him. He earned that. So looking forward again, get him back up here and sit down face to face and start to develop a relationship there.
In the past, would you be at the Senior Bowl as a position coach?
I have, not every year, but I've definitely been to the Senior Bowl. I don't know how many times, but the other thing of note, they do tape those practices, so I will watch all those practices, and we do have scouts down there that are interviewing those guys as we speak.
So you don't think the organization is falling behind?
I don't.
Kevin, you talked about the advantage of having Bill Callahan as a former head coach. Can he help you head off things that perhaps you might not be prepared for?
Yes, and that's the idea behind bringing Coach Callahan here. He's been there, he's done that at the collegiate level, at the pro level, so I'm going to lean heavily on him, among other guys on the staff, but Coach Callahan brings a very unique perspective, and I just like to be surrounded by smart people.
With Odell Beckham again, he's one of these, you weren't here last year, I know.
I was not.
One of these players that drama always seems to follow. Stories that don't really have anything to do with winning and losing. Now we got another one. How do you weigh, as a coach, how do you weigh that element of having to deal with him versus, on the field coaching?
I think I'm going to make sure when I sit down with Odell tomorrow and I get face to face, we're going to talk about what we expect moving forward, but it'd really be unfair to me. I don't have a relationship yet with Odell, so we need to sit down and get to know each other. He needs to get to know me. I got to get to know him, and then we're going to move forward with our eyes ahead to 2020.
Is there a mutual connection between you and Callahan, an individual or anybody?
There's many. There's a few.
But you were never on the same staff?
We were not. No.